Ever wondered how top-tier companies ensure their procurement processes are flawless? Today, we're diving into the secrets behind procurement quality management that can elevate any organization to new heights. Imagine a system where every procurement activity is guided by internationally recognized guidelines, ensuring the highest standards of quality and efficiency. We'll explore the FIDIC Yellow Book 1999, focusing on key clauses like contractors' general obligations and quality assurance. These clauses are the backbone of our quality management system, governing everything from design to materials and workmanship. But that's not all. We'll also delve into the ISO 9001:2015 guidelines, which emphasize continuous improvement and a risk-based approach. This ensures that our procurement processes are not only efficient but also resilient and adaptable. And let's not forget the importance of inspection and test plans, ITPs, and method statements. These tools drive a comprehensive quality approach, ensuring detailed planning and execution at every stage. So, get ready to discover how these international standards and best practices can transform our procurement quality management, driving excellence and ensuring success in every project.
Let's jump right into the first critical element of our procurement quality management plan: procurement requirements and specifications. Think of this as the project's shopping list, but way more detailed. Here, we document exactly what we're buying, right down to the technical details, quality standards, and any special project constraints. For example, if we need high-strength concrete, we won't just say concrete. We'll specify its compressive strength, acceptable aggregate size, curing time, and any relevant national or international standards. By doing this, we avoid nasty surprises, like receiving a cement mix that crumbles under load. Clear requirements also help suppliers give accurate quotes and timelines. So, before we even issue a purchase order, we know precisely what we're getting, how it should perform, and how it aligns with our project goals. Now that we've set the stage for how this procurement quality management plan is designed to ensure impeccable standards, let's dive into the specifics. We'll begin with our first point: foundational references. Think of our foundational references as the backbone of this entire plan. They're the rules and guidelines that keep us on track and ensure that everything we do aligns with recognized industry benchmarks. First and foremost, we have the FIDIC Yellow Book 1999, specifically clauses 4.1, contractors' general obligations, and 4.9, quality assurance. These clauses lay out the contractor's core responsibilities, from sourcing the right materials to making sure we adhere to high-quality workmanship, so there's zero ambiguity about who's accountable for what. We also lean on ISO 9001:2015, which is all about having a robust, risk-based quality management system. Imagine a chef in a gourmet kitchen. Every tool is precisely where it should be, ingredients are carefully measured, and hygiene is a top priority. That's the level of organization and diligence ISO 9001:2015 enforces for procurement. By following its principles, we don't just cross our fingers and hope for the best. We continuously monitor and improve every step, from planning to delivery. Finally, we factor in the specific requirements of our design-build arrangement. Under a design-build setup, the contractor handles both the design and the construction. This means our procurement plan has to be doubly efficient and transparent. Each purchased component affects both how we build and the finished product's performance. Combining these references, FIDIC, ISO 9001, and the design-build model gives us a rock-solid framework to guide every decision we make.
Now that we've explored the foundational references, let's dive deeper into the FIDIC Yellow Book 1999. This document is crucial for ensuring consistent quality throughout the procurement cycle. Clause 4.1 outlines the contractor's general obligations, emphasizing responsibilities for design, materials, and workmanship. This ensures a consistent focus on quality from start to finish. Clause 4.9, on the other hand, requires the implementation of a robust quality management system. This clause governs all procurement activities, including inspection and testing, to ensure that every step meets the highest standards. By adhering to these clauses, we can guarantee that our procurement processes are not only efficient but also resilient and adaptable. This approach helps us maintain a high level of quality and ensures that our projects are successful and compliant with international standards.
ISO 9001:2015 is an international standard that emphasizes a risk-based approach, continuous improvement, and clearly documented processes. But what does this mean for procurement? Firstly, ISO 9001:2015 ensures that procurement, from supplier selection to final acceptance, meets the project's quality requirements. This means that every step in the procurement process is meticulously planned and executed to maintain high standards. Imagine you're selecting a supplier. ISO 9001:2015 guides you to evaluate potential suppliers based on their ability to meet quality standards. This risk-based approach helps in identifying and mitigating potential issues before they arise. Continuous improvement is another cornerstone of ISO 9001:2015. It encourages organizations to constantly evaluate and enhance their processes. This not only improves efficiency but also ensures that the procurement process evolves with changing project needs. Documentation is key. ISO 9001:2015 requires clearly documented processes. This means that every action, from supplier audits to final acceptance, is recorded. This documentation provides a clear trail of accountability and helps in maintaining consistency. In summary, ISO 9001:2015 plays a crucial role in procurement quality management by emphasizing a risk-based approach, continuous improvement, and clear documentation. By adhering to these principles, organizations can ensure that their procurement processes are robust, efficient, and capable of meeting the highest quality standards.
Next, let's talk purpose and scope, or, in simpler terms, why we're doing this and what exactly the plan covers. Picture you're mapping out a road trip. You need a clear destination, the why, and a route that outlines every major stop, the what. In our case, the destination is a procurement process that's consistent, compliant, and drives the project's overall success. So, here's the why. We want to define clear criteria for choosing and monitoring our suppliers, anyone from steel manufacturers to equipment providers, so that we never end up with subpar materials or ambiguous service agreements. We also need to document everything, inspections, tests, and approvals, to create a solid audit trail. This helps us pinpoint, at any moment, whether we're meeting our contractual obligations and quality benchmarks. As for the what, our scope runs the full gamut of procurement activities. That includes drafting specifications for each item, evaluating potential suppliers, and coordinating inspections right up to final delivery. If it affects the quality, cost, or timeline of our project, it's within this plan's scope. By spelling all this out, we eliminate confusion about who's responsible for each task, and we set a clear benchmark for success that everyone can rally around.
Now, who does what? Let's break down roles and responsibilities, arguably the most important aspect for any well-orchestrated plan. Think of an orchestra. Each musician has a distinct part to play, yet all must harmonize to produce a symphony. In our procurement orchestra, the project manager or engineer stands at the podium, ensuring that the entire procurement schedule flows smoothly and meets FIDIC's Clause 4.1 obligations. They approve the documentation, like ITPs and Method Statements, and keep the team aligned with the project's objectives. Next, we have the quality manager, our quality conductor, who ensures we're hitting all the right notes under ISO 9001:2015. They're responsible for audits, checking suppliers' compliance, and managing any nonconformities that pop up. Ever see a conductor stop a rehearsal to fix a single off-key note? That's the quality manager in action, except they're reviewing test certificates or supplier performance data. The procurement team is like the backstage crew. They scout out suppliers, handle purchase orders, and coordinate shipments. They're the ones making sure that when the materials arrive, they're exactly what we specified. Then there's the site or inspection team, who are on the front lines, performing spot checks, conducting tests, and verifying each delivery.
Finally, there's document control, our archivists. They make sure all records, ITPs, certificates, approvals, are properly stored and easily retrievable. After all, even the best performance needs a solid record for future reference. When everyone knows their role and how it fits within the bigger picture, miscommunication plummets, accountability soars, and the project feels a whole lot more manageable. That's the power of clearly defined roles and responsibilities in a procurement quality management plan. With these first 3 points covered, foundational references, purpose and scope, and roles and responsibilities, we've established a strong framework for how this plan operates. In our next segments, we'll continue by diving into the key elements of the plan, timing and submission requirements, integration with ISO 9001 to 2015, and how all these pieces come together to drive excellence in procurement.
All right, let's dive into the heart of this procurement quality management plan, what we call the key elements. Think of these as the building blocks that turn our broad objectives and references into concrete, day-to-day actions. Each element tackles a specific aspect of procurement, from defining precisely what we need to ensuring that nothing slips through the cracks once those materials arrive. Let's break them down. 1. Procurement requirements and specifications. This is where we detail exactly what we're buying, technical specs, performance criteria, and even relevant industry standards. Think of it like ordering a custom-made suit. You don't just say, "Give me something to wear." You specify the fabric, color, measurements, and style. Same logic here. The better our definitions, the more likely we get the perfect fit from our suppliers. Next up, the ITPs. Imagine them as quality roadmaps, showing us each point along the journey where we need to stop and check that everything meets our standards. For instance, if we're procuring large steel beams, our ITP might say, confirm steel grade before shipment, perform ultrasonic testing on arrival, and verify load-bearing capacity prior to installation. By following these steps, we catch inconsistencies early and avoid expensive fixes down the line. Method statements. While ITPs tell us when and what to check, method statements show us how to do it, step by meticulous step. Think of them as detailed recipes. If you wanted to bake the world's best chocolate cake, you wouldn't just read a short note that says mix and bake. You'd want the exact measurements, mixing instructions, and baking time. Method statements serve the same purpose in construction. They standardize procedures, making sure each step is carried out consistently and safely. Now, once we've set out our ITPs and method statements, inspection and testing protocols act as the final checkpoints on how we actually perform tests and record results. For example, if we need to verify weld quality, do we opt for ultrasonic testing or radiographic testing? How do we document the findings, paper forms, digital logs, or both? And crucially, what's our acceptance criterion? Setting these protocols ensures every test is repeatable, reliable, and tied to a documented standard. Moving on, traceability is our detective's toolkit. We label, tag, and track materials from the moment they leave the supplier until they're installed on site. Have you ever tried returning a product without a receipt? It's a nightmare. Similarly, without traceability, figuring out who sent what, when, and why is nearly impossible. By keeping tidy records, we can quickly isolate a bad batch of materials if an issue arises. We can also prove we've met all compliance requirements, a huge plus if audits come knocking. Even the highest grade materials can be ruined by poor handling. Picture ordering fragile glass panels for a sleek skyscraper facade, only to have them arrive chipped because someone stacked them without proper padding. This element sets out best practices for transporting, storing, and eventually delivering materials in tip-top shape. Whether we're dealing with perishable substances needing climate-controlled conditions or giant steel sections requiring specialized lifting gear, we outline the do's and don'ts. It's like having a user manual for each item's journey from the supplier to the job site. Finally, we acknowledge that sometimes things go wrong. That's reality. Non-conformance control tells us what happens if we discover materials or processes that just don't meet our standards. Maybe a batch of bolts fails hardness tests or a shipment of paint comes in the wrong color. Here, we label those items as non-conforming, investigate the cause, and either correct it or replace it. This step is crucial because it keeps subpar materials out of the finished project and drives continual improvement within our quality system. So, these 7 elements, requirements and specifications, ITPs, method statements, inspection and testing protocols, traceability and record keeping, handling and storage, and non-conformance control, are like the gears of a finely tuned machine. Each gear serves a distinct function, but together, they ensure that our procurement process runs smoothly and delivers on the promises we've made in terms of quality and reliability. By paying close attention to each element, we stay a step ahead of potential issues, keep costs in check, and maintain the highest possible standards in our project. That wraps up our breakdown of the key elements of the plan. Next, we'll explore timing and submission requirements, so we can see how these elements fit into our overall project schedule, and why early planning is crucial for success. Alright, let's talk timing. Because in construction, as you all know, timeliness can be the difference between smooth sailing and costly delays. Under the FIDIC Yellow Book, we typically need to submit our Procurement Quality Management Plan within 28 days of starting work. But why exactly is that so important? Imagine you're assembling a giant puzzle. If you don't know what the final picture should look like before you start, you'll waste hours fumbling with random pieces. The same principle applies here. The earlier we define our quality standards, inspection checkpoints, and responsibilities, the fewer surprises we'll face once materials start arriving on site. Submitting everything up front, like our inspection and test plans and method statements, lets the engineer, project manager, and quality manager sign off on critical details before we commit time and budget to the procurement chain. In other words, by front-loading our plan, we give ourselves a solid roadmap that reduces the risk of rework and lays out clear benchmarks for every step to follow. Next, let's explore how ISO 9001:2015 seamlessly weaves into our plan. Think of ISO 9001 as the blueprint for a well-organized workshop, where every tool has its place and every craftsman knows exactly what to do. It emphasizes a risk-based approach, which means we identify potential issues in our procurement, from unverified suppliers to mislabeled goods, before they escalate. Let's say we're sourcing specialized electrical components for a major hospital wing. Under ISO 9001, we do a thorough risk assessment. What if the supplier is late? How do we handle defective parts? What are our contingency plans? By brainstorming these what-ifs up front, we create a culture of continuous improvement, where mistakes become lessons rather than disasters. ISO 9001 also pushes us to document and audit our processes regularly. That way, we're not just meeting a one-time standard, we're ingraining quality into our daily routines, making sure each procurement cycle is more efficient and reliable than the last. Finally, let's tie it all together with our ultimate goal: driving excellence in procurement. You can have the best designs and the finest raw materials on paper, but if your procurement process is riddled with gaps, unverified suppliers, incomplete tests, or haphazard record keeping, you'll never reach the level of quality your project deserves. Excellence in procurement means every team member, from the junior buyer to the lead engineer, understands their role in upholding the plan. It's a collective commitment to detail, communication, and accountability. We're not just ticking boxes on an inspection sheet, we're ensuring the integrity of the final structure, the safety of end users, and the satisfaction of all stakeholders. Through clear timing requirements, thorough ISO 9001 integration, and rigorous quality protocols such as ITPs and Method Statements, we align everyone toward one shared purpose: delivering a completed project that stands as a testament to world-class standards. So, whether we're ordering cement or cutting-edge HVAC units, excellence is about fostering a culture where quality is second nature, where every check and balance is seen not as a burden, but as the bedrock of a truly successful construction project. As we conclude, let's reflect on the importance of integrating international best practices and standards, such as the FIDIC Yellow Book 1999 and ISO 9001:2015, into our procurement processes. By adhering to these guidelines, we ensure that our projects are not only compliant but also of the highest quality. The roles and responsibilities outlined, from the project manager to the quality manager, play a crucial part in maintaining these standards and driving continuous improvement. Thank you for joining us on this journey towards excellence in procurement. Remember, at Growth Mindset Company, we believe in the power of continuous learning and improvement. Stay tuned for more insights and strategies to help you achieve your goals. Until next time, keep striving for excellence and never stop growing.